boy. Yes, sir. Hey, this one of my favorites for sure. Yes, boys. Hey, let's go ahead and get into this one first. Let me take this off. It's too damn hot. Y'all already know. Ooh, much better. All right, here we go. We have something from the men's fashion house, John Varvatos. For me, this fragrance house has a little history with me personally. It was one of the first fragrances that I got when I was a lot younger, and I had bought at least, a few different ones from them. This one wasn't my first one, but it turned out to be one of my favorite scents overall. It can be somewhat polarizing for some. It's a bit daring, on the edge nature about it. There's a ruggedness, toughness about it. And at the same time, coming off smooth and cool. Once you smell this, you'll understand right away, how the bottle and the name of the fragrance is like spot on for how it smells. I love it. So good to me. It suits me. You know what I'm saying? So what fragrances do you wear that suits you the most? You know what I'm saying? Speaks mostly to your personality. Go ahead and sound off in the comments and let me know. Also, before I get into this presentation, I'm going to go ahead, throw you the alley-oop, you know what I'm saying? So you can go ahead and boom that like button. Let's go. Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to GOAT. So I'm pretty sure this is fake leather, but it feels pretty good. Pretty convincing. You can see that this has zippers going up both sides as well, so you're instantly getting that black leather jacket vibe. The zipper has a kind of a darker aged look to it. The zippers are zipped down a little bit, and you can see the black glass bottle underneath. It looks like you can zip this all the way down and take the bottle out, but the zippers are glued in place, so don't try it, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you're a rebel, so you do what you want to, bad boy. Anyways, flipping this bottle over, you can see that same material or that same leather, with some fragrance info on the bottom of it. And most full-size bottle of John Varvatos are actually 125 ml or 4.2 ounces. And this one actually is a eau de toilette concentration. There's no batch code here or anything like that. And because I had this bottle for a long time, it would have been interesting to see when this was actually created. I think that this info on the box or something like that, which I don't have anymore, nor do I have the cap either. This has been around through a few moves, so I don't know. Who knows where it's at? But this is what the cap looks like. If you want to see the full presentation, the cap has a pretty cool looking fleur-de-lis on the top. Kind of reminds me of Chrome Hearts. And for those of you who have never heard of Chrome Hearts, they're also a fashion house out of LA, make some really cool leather goods, etc., etc. On the collar, the atomizer, it's the only place you will see any branding right now here. It says John Varvatos, Dark Rebel Rider, and it's all black everything with this one. The atomizer gets the job done. Fine projection. Okay, let's talk about those notes now. In the top note, you got bitter orange, a little bit of saffron, and amid some resin, some floral, like violet, and maybe like a slight rose. You have a leather note, which I smell almost immediately after about 30 seconds. Pretty consistent throughout the fragrance. There are some woods that add a little depth and darkness to this fragrance, a little patchouli, of course, naturally, you know what I'm saying? Now, this opens up with a bitter orange note, literally while this fragrance is still wet on your skin, which is like a matter of seconds. And then all of that goes away. You pick up a little bit of sweetness from the saffron. Now, I've heard some reviewers call this somewhat a sweet fragrance, and I just don't get it. If you're thinking of sweet as in like a sweet tobacco, maybe, which this plays right into that whole biker cool kind of vibe. Think young Johnny Depp, sitting on a cafe racer, smoking a cigarette, staring off into the distance. It has that kind of aesthetic. You do get some smoke here, and yes, I mean a little cigarette smoke, but not in a bad way. That smoke and leather core here are what make this fragrance a little bit dark, you know what I'm saying? Like Batman Dark Knight dark, that dark. Kind of remind me of the first time I smelled Dracar Noir, but not as smooth, you know what I'm saying? This is a little bit rough around the edges. So in the middle of this fragrance, I mainly get that leather and smoke, maybe a slight petrol smell from the violet that is listed. It all adds to that sitting on a motorcycle in a leather jacket aesthetic, which can probably come across, as off-putting for some. If you're into those darker, like Dracar Noir type fragrances, I think you will enjoy this darker, smooth accord. Now, in the dry down, for me, it's still about the black leather note here, but now being a lot smoother because of those woods. It has some vanilla resin notes and patchouli. Kind of tapers this fragrance out pretty nicely. So the performance here is interesting with this one, but if you know Varvatos fragrances, they're known to smell real great in the opening first hour or so, and then they kind of let off the gas for the rest of the time. I have vintage from Varvatos, which smells excellent in the opening. Very unique, but then it just kind of tapers off in the projection. At least it sticks around kind of closer to the skin after that. So it's whatever. I can probably get around about 6 hours, give or take, with this fragrances if I apply about 4 to 6 sprays. You know, that works for me. You know, your results may vary. Could probably stretch this out if you apply more sprays. So if you do happen to spray this on your clothes as well as your skin, like me, then you can probably get another hour or so, maybe experience more of that complexity of this fragrance. There's a lot going on with all these different notes that make up this dark fragrance. Projection on this one's pretty good for about the first hour or so. If you go out with this one, I think the projection and the dry down is kind of appropriate. Think of it like it makes its presence known, and then it kind of settles into like this coolness. It's not the loud dude in the room, kind of low key and mysterious, like, you know, legitimately cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I told you, it suits me. Now, the sillage on this one is pretty decent for the first hour or so. This is more of a skin scent type fragrance, you know? Close encounters of the rebel kind. Season-wise, fall, winter mainly. Definitely a cooler night in the spring and summer would definitely work. As far as work, I don't know. It all depends. It is a bit dark. So when I think of office fragrances, I tend to think what works best. I think things are more on the fresher side, but definitely for casual occasions and almost any type of situation where you would wear like a leather jacket too. I actually wear this often, you know, with my leather jacket. I use this a lot for layering some of my other fragrances as well. I experiment with different things, kind of playing off this darker leather base. This is a masculine scent for sure. Probably somewhat of an older guy, maybe in your mid 20s and beyond. I mean, I don't know. I think, you know, younger guys tend to go, you know, something a little sweeter, maybe even louder type fragrances garners a lot of attention, which this is neither of those things. But hey, you a rebel, so hey, you do the damn thing. All things considered, I can't personally knock this fragrance. I mean, I love it. I wish it was a bit louder. I wish it gave me more, basically everything it has to offer, from the darkness of the leather note to the smokiness. You know what I mean? So for the price point, this is all over the place. Seeing as this fragrance is actually discontinued by John Varvatos, but you can still pick this up from several places. It's not that hard to find. It's usually going around the $55-$60 mark for the 125 mil. So where can you buy this? You can pick this up on eBay, fragrance.net. You know, like I always say, type in Google and hit that shopping tab and look for the best prices. Also look it up on eBay. So should you blind buy this? That all depends on if you like this fragrance profile or not, and if it sounds like something that will appeal to you. Seeing as this is a discontinued by the brand, more than likely you're not going to be able to go find this at a fragrance counter, but I think that most of you watching blind buy a lot of things regardless. So I know I do actually, so I'll just say that the answer for this one is going to be a maybe. This is one of my go-to fragrances. It's not perfect, but it gives me a lot of what I like. And I think it's actually quite unique. And this sounds like your jam, you know what I'm saying, and you're interested, or maybe you're looking for something else. Maybe watch one of my videos up here. And hey, listen, I know you can be anywhere on the net, but you're here with me. And I appreciate you for that. Hey, y'all solid in my book. If you haven't subscribed, today's the day. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and lock in with your boy. I'm gonna slide up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come back for the next one. And we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Dooski. Bad boy. Yes, sir.